Well, good morning to you from this, my very first post of 2024 on this channel. And you may notice I had my hair chopped. It really needed it. So we're nice and neat. I had this done actually just before I went away for Christmas. And yeah, I've had this done before where I've had my hair really, really long and I've had it chopped. And it just feels really nice and it really needed it. So, first post of 2024, it's just a number change. People seem to think that it's a new year, everything's different. But nothing has changed. We have the same challenges. Everybody has the same challenges. And for small businesses like mine, nothing really will change. If you sell a lot at Christmas and that's your season, I hope that you had a good one. I know that people who normally do well at Christmas haven't been doing quite so well, but I think that is a trend across a lot of last year. The cost of living crisis, the economic challenges that we're facing at the moment have really reflected in consumer behaviour, and there is a lot more window shopping, and I think people they're looking and they want to buy and they want to do things, but rent, food, clothing the kids has to come first, and that's the same for everybody. I mean, I've pretty much stopped buying anything that's not a necessity at the moment, and because business last year was really bad, I lost 2/3 of my usual money coming in. Although traffic seems to be about the same, there's a lot of window shopping going on. And instead of worrying about it, and instead of making more, panicking that it doesn't sell, I've just diversified into other types of income. I've got myself a little part-time job on the side, which is completely filling the gap where the business is struggling, and I've got really stuck into selling on sites like Vinted. I had a big wardrobe clear out in November and December. I made a little bit then, and over Christmas while I was away, I went to see a friend of mine and she had a massive wardrobe clean out. She couldn't be bothered to sell it. She wasn't interested. She wasn't that fussed about having to drag it down to the nearest charity shop. So she said, do you want it? You can sell it. You can do what you like with it. So I brought back 2 enormous rubbish sacks full of clothing, good clothing, nice stuff. And I'm selling it on Vinted. And that will go in as part of my business. HMRC recently put out a notification that they were going to be clamping down on people selling on side hustles on places like eBay and Vinted. But I have always declared the stuff where I'm selling for profit. So when I had my own wardrobe clear out, that was a wardrobe clear out. And yes, I sold the stuff, but it was my personal, they were my personal items. There were things that I'd had for sometimes 15 years, and I had a bit of a clear out. The items that I just accepted from my friend, I took completely on the basis that I was going to sell them for money, for profit, for income. So I will be declaring those. And already I've only been doing that for a couple of days, and I've sold a few things. So people are keen to buy stuff, but they don't want to pay the shop prices. So I'm listing everything for 2 or 3 quid. And any money I make is profit. I didn't buy the clothes originally. They haven't cost me anything to bring home. I have had to wash everything, but it's been a quick freshen up cycle more than anything. So it doesn't impact the profit margins that I will get for those items. So hopefully that will go well. So that's one way that I'm filling gaps. I read an article on, I think it was Enterprise Nation, that 800,000 new businesses were started in 2023. And some people might say, wow, that's really good. That's a lot of businesses. The old trope that Britain is a nation of shopkeepers. Wow, lots of people want to run their own businesses. They want to do well. But given how many problems we had last year with people not earning enough, with mortgage rates going up, with the price of everything going up, it strikes me that a lot of these small businesses will be home businesses like mine, or small, almost like side hustles that have been turned into businesses, hobbies maybe. And it may be people who are still employed, who need to top up wages that don't cover their basic outgoings. It might be people that can't get into work because of their age, because of disability or ill health. Or it may be people that are just so desperate to make some extra money that they've started a business. You can start a business on nothing. Depending on what you're doing, you don't need any investment. You may not need to buy equipment. If you're a knitter or a sewer, or maybe you do photography or you do digital, you've probably already got all the tools you need to get started. So there isn't necessarily a big outlay. Anyone can start a business. And once you reach £1,000 of income from your side hustle, from your intended business, that's when you need to declare it. So it may well be that these are just people who've started something else up on the side. They're working from home. Maybe they're full-time working somewhere else, but they're working from home, and it means that any time lost in commuting or whatever else they're doing, they can use on their side hustle. And that side hustle might be selling on Vinted or eBay. It might be making things. It might be teaching online. It could be all sorts of things. So I wouldn't necessarily be excited about those numbers. And of course, we don't know how many of those businesses also shut down. But it does demonstrate that people are thinking outside the box a little bit in trying to keep their heads above water and trying to pay their bills. I hope that it doesn't represent a desperation in people to try and keep their heads above water, but I fear that that number of small businesses, that's a lot. And these aren't going to be bricks and mortar shops. A lot of these will be tiny little businesses at home, people just trying to get by. So as I said before, my business is down. I haven't been fighting it. I've seen this before, and you just ride the storm. You ride the wave, and it's easy for me to do because my business is at home in my spare room. All it costs me to run is my business insurance every year and my Shopify website. And then if I do sell anything on Etsy, there are listing fees and there are final sale fees. But that's all covered. My business makes enough to cover all of that. So it's not running at a loss. Therefore, I'm not pulling money out of my pocket to try and keep it going. So I'm happy for it to just sit in the background and just trickle along. And when I'm making something, that will be added to the business pot. Right now, it's early January. It's cold. We're just entering a really cold phase. It's 10 degrees in my flat today, and I lose my creativity in the winter. And it's that standard thing that most people have, the winter blues. It's the lack of daylight, it's the cold levels, and I do tend to hunker down and go a little bit into hibernation mode. But that doesn't mean that I can't earn income. So as I said, I have this second little job which involves me going out of home and going to other places and working for other people, and those places are warm. So I've developed my own little warm spaces, which is really great. I have also successfully monetized my personal YouTube channel, so that is now bringing in an income and is doing quite well actually. I've been quite surprised at what I'm making, I thought it would be pence, and it isn't. It's not pence, it's pounds. So I'm still within my first month, so I've registered all the things that I need to get my payments out, but it's a slow system, and I don't think I'm going to get my first payment from YouTube until February. But it's definitely going to make a difference to my income in a smallish but significant way. So I'm really pleased about that. So my business kind of looks like it's a bit neglected at the moment. I have a lot of items in my shop, so my shops look busy. I have like 400 or so items at the moment. I have about 270 items on my Etsy. I've migrated a lot of it just onto my Shopify store because I want to strengthen that and increase that rather than selling on Etsy. So I've kept a selection of items, 200 or so on Etsy, and everything else is on my Shopify store, which is the other about 400 items, 400 items. So there's a lot going on there. So it looks busy. There are things happening. I've kind of neglected the social media. I've just had enough of it. Pinterest I tried and I don't enjoy it. I like using Pinterest to find ideas for crafts and different things like that, but as a business, using it to populate my business, I don't know. I've put a lot of pins up, and the good thing about Pinterest is that unlike Instagram, once a post is up, it can be findable for eternity. So unlike Instagram, if you go into your feed and you see something and you go back to find it, you're never going to find it again unless you knew who posted it or you've bookmarked it. Pinterest, things live forever, much like YouTube. So if you go into someone's YouTube channel, you'll find all their videos, and depending on how you search on YouTube and the sort of things you watch, things will pop up all the time. And I'm always getting recommendations for individual videos that are sometimes 2 years old. So it's a constant feed of information, and that's great if you're a monetized channel, because it means that my personal channel has been running for just over a year now, and it means that people who maybe their viewing habits have changed or they've just joined might suddenly see my first ever video from 2022. So that also helps the monetization, because those particular videos will make money if someone's watching using the adverts. So I feel like I want to focus on the YouTube. And I have to think hard about what I'm going to do about everything else. I have pretty much abandoned my business Instagram, and I'm not sure whether I should just leave it and occasionally post to it as and when I have good things to post, or whether I should close it. I know that some very successful sites, very successful shops, don't post to their social media very often because they don't need to, but they still keep it up and running. I've heard other people say that an abandoned social media site doesn't look good because people will think, oh, is that shop shut down? Is that business still running? So I haven't decided whether or not to shut my Instagram. I have closed other accounts in the past. I think I might close my LinkedIn. I'm not sure. It's of no use to me, really. I still have my Facebook page, and I have certain things linked to it, so that if I post, say, on my blog, it'll appear on my Facebook anyway. So those sites are still being populated. And my blog, I hardly ever use my blog anymore because I'm posting to YouTube. And I've also been rethinking about how this channel should change. So last year I experimented doing lots of product shorts, which you may have seen, and also some videos like this where I'm talking to camera. Maybe I'm doing something where I'm talking you through how I make something, that sort of thing. And it's looking to see what is working, what is resonating with people, and just what is anybody watching. And I don't think the product shorts are worth it. They do get views, but it's not many, and I don't blame people. I don't think they're interested in the hard sell. they're close-ups of products. I'm not saying you must buy this or go here to buy it. It's there are links to my shops in case someone's interested, but it's not like I'm making a sales pitch. So I will continue to do them as and when I make things, but I'm going to take away the focus from doing the shorts. And I'm thinking about doing more videos like this. I follow other small business channels and they're doing much better with the face-to-face stuff. And I think people like me who are watching those channels, and I don't know why I wasn't thinking about this before, we want to connect to other businesses. We want to know what's going on in the world. And this sort of thing, this is why my personal channel has also become successful, because I talk about my day-to-day life. I talk about living a frugal life, hacks that I use to keep energy down, save money on my food bills, budget cooking, because I do a lot of scratch cooking, all that sort of thing. And that's really resonated with people, and that's why that channel is now doing as well as it is. So I think I'm going to do exactly the same thing with this channel. And I'm going to talk more about just my day-to-day life as a small business. Now, there's not a lot going on at the moment, obviously. Winter, not feeling that creative, blah, blah, blah. But for a lot of other small businesses, it'll be exactly the same thing. A lot of us will be, or a lot of you out there who are small businesses and watching this might be sitting there with your blankets on and your hot water bottle and just doing your admin. And if you already have a shop full of stuff, it may be that you don't need to make more things in winter, which is what I do. I tend to make a lot of stuff in the nicer seasons when it's warmer and when that lovely sun and the warmth, and I can throw open my windows and I feel all creative, and I make dresses and jewellery and all sorts of fun stuff. And then when winter comes along, no, I just want to hide. I just want to drink a lot of hot coffee, focus on my admin, do my finances, stuff like that. Anything that involves me being able to stay under the blankets and keep warm. And that's why I have those little side hustles on top, which are filling the gap while the business kind of sits there. And of course, post-Christmas is always the tough season. January is the long month between paydays, and it's funny actually, because the first week of the new year I had a few sales on Etsy, so that was nice. I had a commission as well, so I've made more money in January already than I have in December. Who knew? But I know that's not always going to be the case, and I'm used to the cycle of how my business works, and post-Christmas is always tough. So I don't worry about it. I've replaced the income elsewhere. I'm not under pressure. So that means that I can enjoy the processes that I'm going through at the moment. And if I can turn this channel into something that's a bit different, from what I have been doing, but a lot like what a lot of other small businesses are doing. And then it's simply a case of keep posting and people eventually will find you. YouTube is very organic in that way, in that the type of videos that you watch, it will then start to suggest more. So if you don't like, I don't know, videos about politics, don't watch any videos about politics because you will get them. It's very responsive in that way. So hopefully I can make this work. I wrote some notes about what I wanted to talk about today, because there are lots of little things, and challenges for 2024 are the last thing that I think I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to keep this brief because you probably all know what your challenges are. It's consumer behaviour. No one's buying things at the moment, certainly not post-Christmas, but we will have to see how things go. Energy prices rose again on the 1st of January, and of course it's the coldest part of the season, so people's energy bills are going to be high, and that must be quite a worry. Interest rates really aren't going to change. Prices aren't going to come down, so we're all kind of plodding through winter, I think, until spring. I 3 months to go. Ticking down, 3 months to go. That is the challenge at the moment. And now that I've got my income ticking over in other ways, I'm just going to plod through. Make it to spring. When spring comes, I can enjoy my creativity again and then relook at things. So for now, I'm going to sign off here. I think this is my start for the new year, and I am going to do more of these. I'd like to do one every week, but do I have enough to talk about if I'm not really making anything? There must be other things that I can talk about that are business related. There's always something going on in the news. I know that HMRC, as I say, clamping down on people having side hustles to get tax out of them. You may have a side hustle and not be earning enough to pay tax anyway, so don't worry. But you'll still have to declare it. And if you're self-employed, that's already much easier, because if you're working a PAYE job and you're running a side hustle that makes money, you're now going to have to register for self-employment as well, which is just an added complication. I only do self-employment, so whatever I start earning at, I just add it to the pot, and when self-assessment comes around in April, I'll just list it all. And that's it. That is my update for, we're just into the second week of January, actually, when I post this up. But keep following. Do comment. I'm really interested to know what's going on out there, and I will answer your comments. I'm really into building a community on YouTube. I've discovered that this is where the people hang out, and I don't blame them, because this is where I hang out. YouTube has become a great comfort for the at-home worker and the self-employed and the people who don't have money to go out and have a massive social life, and people who just want to connect maybe to people that they don't have in their lives already. So a lot of the people that follow me over on my personal YouTube don't have friends and family who are into the frugal life or aren't struggling as much as they are, and it's just nice to be able to connect with people. And so many people are struggling at the moment. They are really struggling, and some people are in such dire situations. It's just awful. But I don't want to end this on a depressing note. We are still here in 2024. Do join me. It would be great to see you here, and I will stay in touch, and I will do more videos like this. They might be shorter. I don't think there's any need to do something that's, 30, 40, 50 minutes long. Depends on what I'm talking about, There might be something that's really worth it. But if I can pop in once a week and do 10 minutes, it'll be nice to have a catch-up. So I hope you're all well. I hope you're staying warm wherever you are. I know that Britain isn't the only place that's in cold snaps at the moment. And I'll talk to you again soon. So thanks for watching. It was great to see you here. Speak to you soon. Bye.